Adanna had everything most women dreamed of. At only 26, she was married to Kelechi, a billionaire tech entrepreneur whose name appeared daily in the business magazines. He was young, handsome, and powerful, and their mansion in Banana Island was the envy of everyone who passed by. But behind the sparkling glass windows and luxury cars, Adanna was restless. Kelechi was always busy. His company kept him on flights to London, Dubai, and New York. Even when he was in Lagos, he spent endless hours in his office, his laptop glowing late into the night. At first, Adanna tried to fill the silence with shopping, spa days, and dinners with friends. But when she came home, the emptiness swallowed her. The laughter and warmth she longed for never came from her husband's side of the bed. That was when she began to notice Chuka. The gateman Chuka was a stark contrast to Kelechi. He was rugged, dark-skinned, and muscular from hours of hard labor. Unlike her husband, he noticed her hair, her perfume, even the sadness she tried to hide. He smiled at her in a way that made her heart flutter, something Kelechi hadn't done in months. It started with small talks whenever she walked past the gate. Soon, their conversations stretched longer, and Adanna found herself laughing again one evening. She carried a bottle of cold juice outside. "You work too hard, Chuka," she said softly as she handed it to him. That simple act unlocked something dangerous. A hand brushed against hers. Eyes lingered too long, and before long, stolen glances turned into stolen nights. Weeks later, Adanna's world tilted. The doctor's voice rang in her head as she clutched the pregnancy report. "Congratulations, madam. You're expecting." Her lips trembled. Her husband hadn't touched her in months. The child growing inside her did not belong to the billionaire. It belonged to the gate man. Adanna couldn't sleep that night. She tossed and turned, clutching the pregnancy test in her hand. The air conditioner hummed. The chandelier above her glistened. But her heart pounded with terror. Kelechi was due back from Dubai in 3 days. How could she explain a pregnancy when he had barely touched her in months? The following morning, she avoided Chuka's eyes. But Chuka, bold and unbothered, only smirked when she passed by. "Madam, you day fine today," he said with a wink. Her stomach nodded. Did he even understand the danger they were in? When Kelechi returned, he hugged her absent-mindedly, his phone buzzing with work emails. But later that evening, while they sat at the dining table, his sharp eyes scanned her face. "You've been glowing lately," he said, tilting his head. "Something different about you." Adanna forced a smile, pushing food around her plate. "Maybe it's the new skincare I bought." But Kelechi wasn't easily fooled. Week later, while she was in the bathroom, he found the crumpled hospital report hidden inside her wardrobe. His fingers froze on the paper, eyes widening as he read. 8 weeks pregnant. He felt a rush of emotions: shock, confusion, then suspicion. Slowly, he folded the paper back, slid it into his pocket, and pretended nothing had happened. That night, he lay beside her, watching her breathe. The woman he loved was hiding something, and he was determined to find out the truth. Meanwhile, outside in the gatehouse, Chuka sat on a plastic chair, humming to himself, unaware of the storm that was about to break over all their heads. Kelechi moved differently now. He smiled as usual, kissed Adanna on the forehead, even brought her a diamond necklace one evening. But inside, he was boiling with suspicion. Every detail screamed at him. Her nervous laughter, the way she avoided his touch, the way she lingered by the balcony where the gatehouse stood. So he decided to play along until he was sure. Meanwhile, Adanna's guilt grew heavier by the day. She avoided mirrors because her own reflection mocked her. She barely ate. Her hands shook when she tried to pray, and her nights were filled with nightmares of Kelechi finding out. Finally, one hot afternoon when the mansion felt suffocating, she went to Chuka. He was sitting on a stool, eating roasted corn. When she walked in, Chuka, she whispered, her voice trembling, "I'm pregnant." For a moment, he froze, the corn slipping from his hand. Then he laughed softly, shaking his head. "Madam, so it has happened. Don't worry, a child is a blessing." "A blessing," she snapped, tears in her eyes. Do you know what you've done if Kelechi finds out? Both of us are finished, but Chuka's eyes gleamed with a strange confidence he won't find out. You're his wife, he'll never suspect the gateman, just relax, the child is ours. Adanna ours. His words both comforted and terrified her that night. When Kelechi returned from work, he sat quietly in the living room, his eyes on the security cameras. He had secretly installed an extra one pointing toward the gatehouse. As the screen flickered, his jaw tightened. He sighed. Adanna slipping into the gatehouse earlier that afternoon. His worst fear was confirmed, and for the first time in his life, Kelechi Okoro, the billionaire everyone admired, felt truly betrayed. Adanna's heart nearly jumped out of her chest when Kelechi called her into the living room that evening. He was sitting on the leather couch, sipping wine slowly, the glow of the chandelier reflecting in his calm eyes. Sit down, my love, he said softly. Something about his voice made her knees weak. She sat opposite him, clutching her fingers nervously. Kelechi studied her for a long moment, then leaned forward with a smile. You know, I've been thinking I haven't been the best husband. I've been so busy chasing money. I forgot the most important person in my life. You. Adanna's throat tightened. She opened her mouth to speak, but no words came. He reached out, gently holding her hand. And then I heard the good news. You're pregnant. Her heart stopped. How did he know? She forced a smile, tears stinging her eyes. Yes, I was going to tell you. Kelechi nodded slowly. I'm happy, Adanna. A child is a blessing. Whether the timing is strange or not, I will love this child because it carries your blood. Her tears flowed freely now. She leaned into his chest, sobbing, and he stroked her hair tenderly. Don't cry, he whispered. Everything will be fine. I forgive you. That same night, Kelechi called Chuka into the main house. The gate man walked in nervously, wiping his hands on his trousers. To his shock, Kelechi smiled at him. Chuka, Kelechi said calmly, pouring him a glass of wine. You've been loyal to this household, and I know everything. But I'm not here to punish you. A child is involved now, and I want peace. Chuka blinked in disbelief. Oga, you mean you forgive us? Kelechi nodded, his face unreadable. Yes, I forgive you both. But as the two of them relaxed, thinking the storm was over, Kelechi's mind was already spinning with plans. He would not shout. He would not fight. Instead, he would strike in a way neither of them could ever imagine. The calmness was not forgiveness. It was the beginning of his revenge. It was a quiet afternoon when Kelechi called from his study. His voice carried strangely gentle through the mansion. Adanna, Chuka, come inside. Tonight, we celebrate. Both looked at each other in surprise. Adanna's heart leapt. Maybe, just maybe, her husband had truly forgiven her. She rushed upstairs, slipping into her most dazzling gown, painting her face with hope. Chuka wore his neatest shirt, combing his hair nervously when they returned. The living room looked like a scene from a party. Bottles of wine, soft music, and a table set for three. Kelechi stood tall in his black suit, smiling as if nothing had happened. Sit, he said warmly. Tonight, we are a family again. They sat, laughing awkwardly, raising glasses when Kelechi lifted his two new beginnings. But before they could drink, heavy footsteps thundered at the door. Bam, bam, bam. The door burst open. Two police officers marched in, guns at their sides. Mr. Chuka, one officer barked. Chuka froze. Yes, sir, you are under arrest. What? Adanna screamed, jumping to her feet. For what? The officers grabbed Chuka, snapping handcuffs around his wrists. He cried out, struggling. Oga, Kelechi, please, don't do this to me. Adanna collapsed to the floor, wailing. Kelechi, forgive me. You were not around. I was lonely. That's why. Kelechi's face hardened like stone. His voice was thunder. Even though I was not around. Does that give you the right to betray me? Does that give you the right to sleep with my gate man? If you wanted a man, there are many in the world, but you chose to shame me under my own roof. Adanna sobbed louder, clutching his leg. Please, don't throw me away. I still love you. Kelechi yanked his leg free, eyes blazing. Love. You sold your love at the gate. Now you will live with the consequences. He turned to the officers, his voice cold and final officers, take them away. Adanna screamed as the policeman dragged her out beside Chuka, her cries echoing through the mansion. Kelechi, forgive me. But Kelechi did not move. He only lifted his glass, watching silently as the policeman carried them out of his compound. The music still played in the background, but the celebration was over. And so was their story. Final lesson. From Kelechi, we learned that no matter how busy your work is, you must always create time for your wife and family. A woman may have all the money in the world, but what she longs for most is love and attention. From Adanna, we see that loneliness is never an excuse, for betrayal loyalty is the foundation of marriage. From Chuka, we understand that greed and lust can destroy a man's future. Crossing boundaries that are not yours will always end in shame. The final lesson: marriage needs love, loyalty, and presence from both sides. Without these, wealth and beauty mean nothing. If you enjoyed this story and want more powerful dramas like this, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Stay tuned for the next story.